Hello, chart friends. Today we are checking out Fnko, WWR, TDOC, LOW, NIO, all tickers that members of the illustrious Chart Guys community have elected to get a little bit of an inspection. I'm going to start with Fnko. On the weekly time frame, this one looks really, really nice. We have a huge weekly squeeze. We can see that we are breaking out over weekly levels. We have only, it looks like, last week's high as a resistance at this point. And that is great for the bulls who, if they can clear this, have an area of relatively little resistance ahead of them up into the $16 range. The only real resistance I see is this bounce, $9.98. So we'll just call that $10 psychological a clear level that we should be paying attention to anyway. So let's go to the daily time frame. We've already started this breakout. What sort of momentum does it have? And what sort of benefit can we possibly pull from it over the next week? 803 is the key resistance. We'll check after hours to see if there's anything in particular that we should be watching out for. But nice bull volume today. Marabuzzo close. Would not at all be surprised to see a gap up over the $8 range and a back test of that level. Bulls are in full control right now, and any sort of vote of confidence as the market is going to give is going to put gas on this fire and carry us maybe to $10 over the next few weeks. Who knows? All we can say is that on the daily time frame, this is about as optimistic a setup that we could look for. No real resistance on the daily time frame except for that high from November 10th. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame and start to look for things that might throw us a little bit sideways. Nothing on the 4-hour for resistance. We can see that we have already broken above that level in after hours, and that's that momentum that we see on the daily candlestick. This Marabuzzo close, that trading, that momentum doesn't stop just because the market closes. That carries over into the next day, and it's actually happening as we speak, and that is how we get into gap situations. We sort of have to read between the lines and understand what's happening, but if we go to the 15-minute time frame, you can see nice strong close, bulls carry that momentum, big volume into the end of the day, and now we're tapering off into the normal sort of after hours action that we see. So if we open above the 803 range, we're going to be looking for a back test. We want to find a new higher low. It doesn't necessarily need to be that 803 support, but it would be ideal to see that confirm as a support before the bulls decide to move on to the upside. Higher low can form anywhere over 754. So we'd be looking maybe for a quick flush tomorrow, see if we can see some profit taking, get a good opportunity on that first flush. If it does come to pass, look for a buy, and then we look for upside continuation at this point, because right now, from what I can see, bulls are in complete control of Fnko. WWR. So let's go start at the daily time frame. Big volume breakout today. Water. Who knew water was important? So what we're going to do is go look for nearby resistances. I think we have this guy to check out. 672. We have another big volume day, a very strong near Marabuzzo close. So momentum is not going to be quite as strong as we saw in Fnko, probably into the after hours, but still a huge amount of short covering. Basically, anyone that's shorted after the 672 level is going to need to cover, and that's often why we see huge moves that follow big breakout days. You knock out one level, you trip some stops. You knock out another level, you trip some stops. And soon you have a lot of short covering, you have a lot of hype, you have a lot of interest, and you have a lot of upside. It's a pretty spectacular move. 450s to the 620s, pretty amazing. So can we continue with this sort of momentum? Probably not. This is a little different than Fnko. Fnko has had a lot of upside, has a former resistance that we just tried to get because of daily higher low, where WWR has a lot of contained squeeze, and if we put that daily squeeze on, we can see that coming in just once in the last day here. We get a big volume breakout. That's probably yesterday, yeah. So not quite the same setup. So we need to treat it a little bit differently. So what I'm going to be watching for is short-term consolidation. I'm going to be looking for overbought conditions that will need to cool off. Our RSI is going to be very, very high on some time frames, and we're going to be looking for consolidation opportunities. On the 4-hour time frame, there's that rocket ship up. We already started seeing some consolidation. Best case scenario, 4-hour bull flag into a break over 672. Consolidation can come in many forms. Hourly time frame consolidating pretty well. We had ourselves an inside bar on the hourly time frame, 501 support. Let's see if that is truly 501. 502 support. Now looking for a hourly higher low. Lots of options here. Bulls in pretty good control. I would need to see a loss of 502 and a lower high under today's high of day to think anything differently about WWR. TDOC. So TDOC has a little bit of a different setup. So what we're doing now is trying to look for daily trend change. We're trying to find a base of support. This is not a breakout play. This is an anticipation, a speculative play that maybe we'll get a higher low over 168.50. If we can do that, then we can change the trend and start looking for more upside. Overall, on the weekly time frame, TDOC is a bullish stock. However, we've lost 181 support, so we're still going to be looking, best case scenario, for a lower high under 236.80. That's a pretty big swing, and that's why people are interested in catching this daily low and hopefully changing this daily downtrend. That's what we need to do at this point. So what we're going to look for is a daily higher low over 168.50. That would be our bottom fish level, best case scenario. And then we're going to look for a higher high over 190.70. On the 4-hour time frame, we can see we have an hourly uptrend that has changed back into an hourly downtrend. We are now in a 4-hour downtrend and have been for some time. So we're going to look for this daily and 4-hour trend change to play out in the same way. We're looking for the 168.50 level, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, play out into a daily uptrend. It's all going to be about where, if and when, actually is a better way to phrase it, this hourly and 4-hour and daily trend change occurs. Major support 168.50. We need to see the 4-hour and the hourly trend change first before the daily does. So keeping a close eye on those levels. LOW, this is a earnings play. Earnings are when? On the 18th, so a couple days. So here we have a big drop. Then we get an inside bar, a bull break, consolidation, another consolidation day, an inside bar, bull break. Bulls have momentum. Not a lot of resistance. We have knocked out a lot of this with this big back and forth action on the weekly time frame. So a lot of these stops and these supports have just been knocked loose. So now we are in an area on the daily time frame with a very, very limited resistance, and we have big bullish moves after following the inside bar bull break. So I bet you if we go and look, let's see if this actually works out. I never like doing this during a live video when I haven't checked the time frame before because sometimes it just doesn't work out. But this is a part of the analysis. We're looking at this on, say this is a 15-minute time frame. We have an inside bar bull break. When did the volume come in? Was it the break of 159.98? And is it something that we can utilize in the future when we're doing an analysis? So 158, look at that. Okay, so here's the high a day from November 13th, breakout in the morning, come back to the penny support, and then we're off. What was our low? To the penny. Yep, a low of 159.98. Beautiful bottom fish against an incredibly key level. Bulls just ran away with it. All right, so back to the hourly analysis. Hourly uptrend is looking great. Anything over 159.98 is going to be a higher low. We have a nice solid hourly uptrend on the 4-hour time frame. We haven't really consolidated well on the 4-hour. I don't want to see us below 159.98. I would love to see us hold up here and maybe get an hourly bull flag into upside continuation because look at this. We don't really have anything in our way. The only thing that I can see is a possible roadblock, 163.07, and even that is not really that big of a deal from what I can see here. Let's see if the hourly bulls can get a leg up tomorrow, consolidate, break 163.07, and then they'll be well into this range of very limited resistance. So good setup, and we could probably get that done before earnings. I don't want to swing this or hold this over earnings. I have no interest in earnings, but I do want to play the setups that run into earnings and then get out. An example of doing that, NIO earnings for this guy are out tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's pre-market or aftermarket, but the key levels on the daily time frame are what matter right now. So let's go look at those. Support, we have today's low of day at 41.04. Below that, we've got, come on, magnets, 40.55. And then down here, 38.11, resistance, high day today, 45.85. And then, of course, way up here from Friday, 54.20. So really, anything can happen. 4-hour time frame, bulls are still in control or setting higher lows and higher highs. The hourly time frame has kind of been choppy. We had several inside bars that really did nothing, and we had a couple fake outs. But this is the sort of action that you get into on the hourly 15-minute time frame, just sort of sideways. Clear resistance levels. We broke after hours. That's great. Hourly time frame, a little bit choppy. Not a lot of clarity, but the daily time frame giving us the key levels that we need. Let's see what happens with this 4-hour trend, and hopefully we can stay inside this pattern. I hate it when earnings just wreck a beautiful chart, and that's why I don't like to play them too often. Anyway, 52.40, that's our key resistance, key support, 38.11, 40.55, 41.04. that's it. If this is helpful for you, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing. The YouTube video does help us tremendously. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in chat. And if you like charts and you want to learn more about this and how to benefit from setups and inside bars and hourly reversals and all the fancy jargon, that's what we do. We teach people how to interpret charts so that you can make trade decisions. And that's what it's all about at Chart Guys. Anyway, thank you.